Welcome to Awaken with Victoria Bond. I'm your host, Victoria, and I am absolutely honored to bring you this podcast where we will be getting raw, real, turning up consciousness, removing the old energies that do not align, and turning up our capacities as human beings and spiritual beings. I will be bringing you mediumship. I will be bringing you channels. I will be bringing you points of view that will shift your perspective and realign your body, your mind, and your soul. Enjoy this ride. This comes from my heart to yours, and know that while you're listening to this, indeed you are helping to create this. Enjoy the ride, and I'll see you inside. Hello and welcome to Awaken with Victoria Bond. I am absolutely honored to bring you this episode. Today, I'm going to go solo and talk to you about manifestation. Manifestation is one of those beautiful things that when you get it right, when you learn how to manifest, when you learn that you're going to have to continuously learn how to manifest because we are going so freaking fast in our life that there is actually no place to stop, you actually start realizing that you are the creator of everything that you create. I see a lot of people talking about manifestation, and they're like, when I get the money, when I manifest the money, this shit is happening to me right now, so I can't manifest the money. And what I acknowledge in my awareness is that they have manifested the crap happening around them. I'm just going to be very, very bold. We manifest everything that is in our reality. And once we take radical responsibility for what we are manifesting, the good, the bad, and the ugly, our lives change because there's nowhere to hide, because we take full responsibility for everything. It was just last night that I had this awareness again. Like I said, life goes so fast. We're pretty much, at the speed of light, faster than the speed of light, because we are energy and energy is faster than the speed of light. So pretty much what happened is I found myself voice noting one of my friends saying, oh my goodness, I spent this money on a food and exercise program and it's so epic, but I only did it for 4 days. And now I feel like I'm putting on more weight and I don't have the time and space to create this beautiful, sexy, fit, aligned body, even though I have bought the program. And I stopped and I laughed and I heard myself and I was like, have you forgotten about manifestation? So if this is true and I am the manifester of my whole entire reality, then why am I not taking radical responsibility for not doing this program that is in alignment with me? Because like I said, I love this program. I just don't stick to it because I'm lazy. And even saying I am lazy is an excuse. So therefore, being lazy and not doing it and putting on more weight and not sticking to it, I only stuck to it for 5 days, is giving me something. So when I decided to add in radical responsibility for not actually doing the thing that I am desiring to do, it was hilarious. And I realized I am manifesting something other than the sexy, thin, hot, energetic body. I'm manifesting something else. So then I had to sit there and go, what is the thing that is giving me more than doing the program? So I had to sit with that energy and I deleted that voice note. My friend messages me back and she says, you don't want to talk to me? Why are you deleting your messages? And I said, because it's hilarious at what I heard when I actually projected out how I'm feeling. And taking radical responsibility, that is not what I'm choosing. I'm choosing to have a fit, slim, energetic, strong body. And using excuses, which is simply my choices, will never get me there. Right? So it's really, really interesting when we are complaining about things, when we are saying this person did that, or my circumstances don't allow that, or I can't, or when I can, All of those things are external. But when we take the radical responsibility for what we are manifesting, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we realize that we can change our mind and choose something differently by simply asking a question. What else is possible with what I am manifesting? And what would it take for me to manifest from the most highest frequency and vibration for the good of myself and all of those around me, for the highest good of the true white light, right? So when we trip over, and honestly, I can just hear my mum in my ear right now saying, oh, don't be so ridiculous. But this is like literally tried and true. You ask any spiritual entrepreneur, you ask anyone who's actually got money and they've actually got love and they actually have health and wealth and all the things, that they will agree with me here. When you trip over and you're like, oh my God, it's because that stone was in the way. It's because I need new shoes. It's because of this. It's because of that. And you actually blame the external. Then you're only going to create more of that, because the universe is like, oh, well, you like that. That's what you're manifesting. So I'll give you more of that, because obviously, whatever vibration you are giving up to us, we'll give back down to you, this higher consciousness. But if you trip over and you say, I wonder what the purpose of me tripping up with was, what was the higher purpose of that? Oh, what is so right about tripping over? What is so right about noticing that my shoes were slippery? What was the beautiful divine guidance that I've been given in this accident? And honestly, when I started shifting my mindset and my perspective around manifesting, I would trip over, and instead of swearing, the F-U-C-K word, and screaming like, what is happening? I'm so angry. Why does this shit keep happening to me? Rather than having that kind of mindset, I simply went, what is so right about me falling over right now? And then all of a sudden, I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and buy myself some new shoes. Thank you, universe. Or, okay, I require to clean up my backyard because there's stones everywhere, right? So thank you, universe, so I can clean up my shit type of thing. Or it could be something as simple as, I'm so grateful that I tripped over so I could take that moment to realize that I need to slow down, because there's actually no emergency, and I'm being a bit of a spinner right now by running around and being a maniac, when all I really require to do is sit down with my kids and be present for a day. There is a gift in every single thing that you're manifesting, the good, the bad, and the ugly. From the relationship that was very, not amazing, from the actual amazing relationship, to the pain in the ass client, to the soul client. Every single person, you would have heard this when I've explained this in different episodes of my podcast, but every single thing that comes to us is an absolute gift. And one of the things that really kind of brought this home for me was when I studied human design. I've got a HD certification. And what it really honed in was, oh my gosh, every time we go into our not self theme, which is the opposite to, your signature, the opposite to when you're fully aligned, there's always an opposite to everything, right? We live in a world of polarity, duality. And it was super interesting, because I was like, when I get frustrated or bitter or angry, whatever your HD is, we're slightly different the way we work. It is a beautiful sign from the universe to realign. So every time I go into bitterness, because I'm a projector, and I experienced some of this about a week ago, I got really bitter. Like, when you get unreasonably angry or bitter or frustrated or a little bit sulky, that's what I was doing. And I messaged my coach. I love my coach so much. And this is why coaches are so epic, because they have your back when you're going to that child part of your mind, when you're experiencing that inner child and you're having a tantrum, or you're going, why is this happening to me? Or why isn't the money coming through? Or why does my partner not understand me? Whatever you're having a little tanty about externally. And I messaged my coach and I said, I'm like literally sulking. I'm really bitter, unreasonably bitter. Something has triggered me, and I know it's not about that situation, but I'm really triggered. Like, I'm really pissed off and angry, and I want to throw my toys out of the cot. And I was like, I'm actually really embarrassed admitting this, because I was smiling because I had acknowledged it. I had taken a moment to acknowledge that I was being like a little brat having a tantrum for no reason. And my daughter's like lying there because we were going to bed and I was staying at the batch. So, there's one bed. So my daughter and I are there chilling out and just watching TV in bed. And she's like, "You're right, Mummy." I was like, "Adley, I'm sorry if I'm grumpy." And she said, "Mummy, you're not grumpy. You might feel that way, but you're super nice to me. I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "I'm like grumpy like a little kid." And she thought it was so funny because I was like, I'm going to be really honest. So I told my coach, and my coach came back to me and she said, "That's okay. Now you get an opportunity to self-parent yourself." Because somewhere when we're having a tantrum or we are in our not self theme, feeling bitterness, we've overdone it somewhere. We've either overgiven, or we're tired, or we haven't been able to express our feelings. We feel like we've been shut down, or, maybe we've eaten something that's not great for our body, or we haven't drunk enough of water. So how do we reparent ourselves when we're going into this, woulda, coulda, shoulda, for manifestation? Like, it's just not in my realm. What happens when we do this? We can come back and we can self-parent, and we can say, "It's okay. Yeah, you're not choosing that right now, obviously, because you don't have the resources or whatnot. But if you are choosing it, then you can change your perspective. And you can also change your mood. And you can also change the way that you're carrying yourself. And you can also embody that next version of yourself, or actually the true version of yourself within now, if that's what you're choosing. But if you're not choosing that, that's okay. Maybe all you need to do right now is to go have a little sleep, drink some water, have some vitamins, and wake up and move that body in the morning. What would create more for you right now? And this is the little conversation I had with myself after I admitted that I was having this little tantrum inside. I was like, why am I being like a 4-year-old? This is hilarious. Like, as I was observing myself. And then I realized all I needed was some sleep, was some vitamins, was some water, and to reset the next day, right? So I manifested a grumpy mood so I could self-parent myself. So sometimes when we go into our not self theme as well, as like I said before, it's going back into alignment. So, quite often one of my really good friends who I talk to nearly daily, she'll be like, "It feels like you've kind of got out of alignment a little bit." And I'll be like, "Oh, why would you say that?" And she's like, "It's just, your energy doesn't feel right." And I'll be like, "Oh, thank you so much." So I'll go, how am I feeling? Am I feeling bitter? Am I frustrated? How am I acting with the people around me? What are my thoughts? What is my mindset? When was the last time I journaled? When was the last time I moved my body or done my favorite things like go to the beach or have a bath? I kind of do a little bit of a checklist, because a checklist for me is super important, because you don't just go and journal once or move your body once or go and do a meditation once and all of a sudden you have manifested all your hopes and dreams and desires. It's an ongoing job. It's an everyday job. Just like you're taught to brush your teeth and have a shower every day and eat breakfast and eat your five vegetables or whatnot. Manifestation has a tick list, and everyone's tick list looks completely different. I quite often get a whiteboard and I write what I require for my body and my health, right? So that's the whole body. So they're my human pretty much. What I require for my mindset. So, and also the spiritual and the business. So I put all these different elements of me on this huge big whiteboard and I go, what are we going to focus on this month? What do I require to focus on? Because I require to be healthy in all areas of my life, not just one. So my relationships, my health, my wealth, my spiritual connection, all of these. And you would have heard me talk about this before as well. I've got a PDF and a workbook, and a training on this. It's really, really interesting. We must continuously reassess where we're at and shift, because we manifest fast, really, really fast. So fast that every day we have to check in. So one day I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do anything for the rest of the year. I'm just going to do magnificent mediumship, and that's going to be fantastic. This is what I feel is great right now. And then a month later, I'm like, epic. I'm going to bring in one-to-one coaching. I'm going to redo that program from last year because it's an epic program. So how can I create more? How can I tap into my energetics and take the aligned action to create the money, but also the connection, the wealth and the health? How do I do this? How do I do this now? And then be open to pivoting and shifting and changing. I do this by listening to my energetics. And my energetics will tell me by my mood and by what I'm manifesting. So when I trip over, I say, thank you so much, universe. Ouch, that hurt. Yes, that brought me back into my body. If you need to have a cry, have a cry. That's great. Maybe you'll just laugh and go, what is happening? Why does this shit keep happening to me? Show me the gift within this. Do you see what I'm saying? If there is no good and bad or wrong and right, if everything was working for you in your favor and you truly, truly desired to manifest bucket loads of money and love and all the things that you desire, all the physical things, from the cars to the engagements to the traveling to the epic business to the, wholesome, connected children that are with you. Obviously, we don't want to control our children, but you know what I mean? Like the relationships is wholesome. Then we have to take that radical responsibility and realize that the world and the universe and the humans and the spirit and our higher self are all working in our favor. So why do we keep pushing? And I do this as well, right? I do this. So we push because we go, I want those $100,000 months, because when I have them, I can have this and this and this and this and this. Or I desire to quit my job and to be a homeschool mum. And we have these thoughts, and then the universe hears us, starts giving us the information that we require to get there in the shortest amount of distance, to get there in the easiest way and the shortest way and the easiest way. And it won't be a road that we would even presume to take. So when we fall over, we didn't want to fall over. Our brain goes, we don't want to fall over. But our subconscious goes, but this is the way that you will awaken and actually clean up your shit. Or, you have a fight with your partner, or something happens and, a client pulls out from a contract, or, something, I don't know, all these different things are happening to you. And you're like, but this doesn't feel like it's meant to feel when I'm getting to those 100K months and I'm getting to the things that I'm choosing. And of course, it's not going to feel that way, because the universe is navigating it for you. And all you have to do is listen. You listen, and then you feel grateful, and then you raise your vibration when that client leaves, or whatever the situation is, or maybe even a partner leaves you. Maybe the partner's not energetically in alignment with you and the relationship has to come to an end. Of course, it's going to feel like shit, and you're going to go, what? What is happening? Should I be working towards this to bring this relationship back so we grow together, or do I let it go? And then you listen to your intuition. And your intuition will tell you, because it will feel light and expansive for a yes or heavy for a no. And once you trust the intuition more than you trust your limited mindset, your programmed, conditioned mind, magic and miracles happen. To give you an example of this, when I was 23, I was engaged to my husband, my now husband. I had a beautiful wedding dress. I had my rings. I had the bridesmaid dresses. I had sorted out the flowers and pretty much the whole entire menu. The deacon to marry us. I mean, seriously, we were only a few months away from getting married, and I felt so heavy. I felt so heavy, and I knew nothing about this consciousness or manifestation stuff. I knew about the secret, but the secret is very limiting because it doesn't tell you how. It just tells you to keep focusing on that thing, but it doesn't tell you how to navigate your energies, right? And we broke up. I said, give me another sign, universe, give me another sign. I'm sorry for asking you, but show me another red truck then, or another one. Oh, just give me another sign. I got so many signs, thousands of signs, because the universe kept giving me what I was asking for. And then we ended the relationship. I ended the relationship. And we were not together for 2 years. That was the most painful, hard experience I ever had, because I had been with my husband since I was 16 years old. But I said to the universe, God, I said, dear God, I want him to be the father of my children, but I also desire for him to be happy. And I now know that he was quite depressed and I was very anxious. So, two young kids pretty much in their early 20s had been together forever, and we didn't know who we were without each other. We were a bit lost, as Luke would say it, lost. And I said, this is what I'm desiring. I'm desiring to have an abundant life with him, in love, with children. And this is not what we have right now. It should feel that way, but it doesn't. I will do whatever you show me, and I will follow my intuition. That's why we broke up. I completely let go, knowing and trusting for that 2 years that everything was working in my favor. I got completely broke. I put on like 10 kgs. I had experiences that I certainly wouldn't choose to have again, but now I understand other people so much more because I did have those experiences. I can sympathize and empathize and understand other people and why they choose what they choose. I had a lot of experience. And we got back together 2 years later after not talking for 2 years on my 25th birthday. He messaged me happy birthday and he was the only one I replied to. And I thought, that's weird. Why did I reply to him? Because at this stage, I'm used to listening to my intuition. No matter what the outcome was going to be, I listened to my intuition. And when I didn't, it would hurt, right? So I learned. And I thought, that must be a sign. Why did I message him and I didn't message all these other people? We started talking. About 6 months later, we were back together, living together. And within another 2 years, we got married, or I can't remember. It was like about, got married at 28. Anyway, long story short, we are now married with children. We are abundant. We are happy. We have everything we require. We are like literally happy. More happy than we've ever been. And he did father my children. I was right. From the moment I saw him, I knew he was going to be the father of my children at 16 years old. Didn't want kids until I was at least 30, but I manifested the love of my life because I trusted my intuition. The hardest thing I ever did. And the chances were he wasn't going to come back. The chances were, not only had I broken his heart and made sure I did a really good job of it, I literally was like, I'm never getting back with him. Never. It wasn't like let someone go and, hopefully they come back. It was like, I'm going to make sure we don't get back together because this is painful, but I'm going to listen to my intuition. And I broke up with him. Right? So, and as if by a miracle, we did get together and had children because that's what I once wanted. Like, there was the polarity in even what I'm saying here is I wanted him, but I didn't want him and all of those things. But I manifested my husband. And I started doing this not just at that age. I did it from a really, really young child. I said, this is what I'm choosing when I marry my husband. He is lovely. He is kind. He is gentle. He loves my kids. He wants to be like a dad who's really involved. I'm desiring someone who will always treat me like a princess. And he's tall and he's handsome and he's fun. All of these things. He's going to be my best friend. I got all of them. But I was shown so many things of what I didn't want when we weren't together. I was shown the opposite of what I had asked for. So then I knew what I wanted. Right? So how much money do you desire to manifest? What is the kind of relationship that you desire to manifest? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to feel within yourself and with your body? Are you going to continue to complain about your bank account or your husband or your children or your body? Or are you going to say, actually, this is probably a signal for me to change something and take radical responsibility for what I'm actually choosing? Because if having is the evidence of wanting, that truly means you have what you want right now. Now, some people get a little bit tripped up here and they go, what are you talking about? I didn't choose to be in an abusive relationship and to be broke or to experience this. And I'm like, didn't you? If you don't believe that you've created your reality around you on a soul level, on a spiritual level, and in a human level, then you mustn't think you're very powerful. And if you don't think you're very powerful, then you probably think that you're quite human and your reality is pretty much what's been created from your childhood, and therefore you're living a very 3D reality where you would much rather blame other people for your circumstances rather than take responsibility for what you actually have. So how do we manifest more? Well, first of all, you get yourself in a really high vibration, right? So even with the breakup with me and Luke, it was like when I sat there saying, show me what you want me to do. I'll do whatever, whether it's breaking up or whether it's moving or whether, I just really desire to be joyful and happy and experience. Oh my gosh, please. Even that was high vibrational. And then I manifested the breakup and all the shit that came with it. But that was still high vibrational because I got exactly what I wanted because I trusted. So it doesn't mean that you can't do it with ease. It doesn't mean that you have to feel the pain. It's just the situations that come your way, right? So for instance, actually a client this morning messaged me, hey, Victoria, I'm going to be jumping out of one of your vortexes. Me a couple of years ago be like, oh my God, what did I do? I didn't serve properly. Now I just go, oh, fantastic. She got what she required. And now I get to bring in somebody else. So everything is a contribution. Everything is magical, but it's just saying, what is the magic that is being created right here, right now? So I'm going to go into a high vibrational state. I'm going to feel epic. I'm going to feel blissed out. I'm going to feel like very 5D, not the coulda, woulda, shoulda. I'm going to sit in I'm here now and I am. I am a money magnet. I am love. I am joy. I am energy, and energy is faster than light. Therefore, I get to manifest very, very fast, and I get to choose whatever I'm choosing. So if the $1 million isn't just landing in my bank account right now, somewhere I probably have got a belief that can't land in. So what if I could just eliminate and dissolve all of those points of views and ask for my angels to come in and help me transmute that energy so I can be in energetic alignment for that $1 million. And why do I want that $1 million? What can I do with that $1 million? What good can I do for myself and for other people? I want to have a really good reason why I can bring in that $1 million and how much good it can do. Because there's a million reasons why not to manifest that money. There's a lot of reasons. And this is what people will say to me. I want $1 million. I go, do you? And I go, no, not really. Why not? Oh, because then everybody will want a piece of it. People are going to judge me. A lot of people are very, very worried about being judged. That is a huge thing. And if people say that they don't want to be, that they're not worried about being judged, then they're lying pretty much, because we are in a society where survival was on the judgment of others, pretty much. From getting your first job to doing well at school, to getting, good grades, to getting your first boyfriend. Like, everything is judged. And that's not a bad thing. But what if we could just drop all of the low vibrational judgments and actually say, what if we just came from a space of consciousness and said, what do I require to do and be and feel and acknowledge to bring in the $1 million version of me now? The universe then catches up to you because you're asking the question and it's going to reflect it to you. So whether you trip up, you know that the universe has given you a beautiful sign for your expansion. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm just looping back around. I'm in a high vibrational frequency right now because I've done my tick list and I feel good. I feel expansive. I don't feel heavy. I don't feel the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I don't feel the, it's his fault or her fault or my parents' fault or it's the society's fault or, it's what's happening with the banks or with the virus. Instead of saying that stuff, you're saying, oh my goodness, I am choosing to be a vibrational match for love and health and wealth. Ooh, that feels so good. I feel expansive. What is on my to-do list? My to-do list for this is meditation and walking and breathing and connecting with high vibrational people that I look up to and expand. I commit to my consciousness. I commit to investing in me, and I don't use any excuses because the truth is, if I don't have the money, if I don't have the time, then I'm not choosing, and that's okay. But here's the thing, when you are choosing, you have to start trusting and surrendering that is going to happen for you. So for instance, when people invest in me or when I've invested in my coach in the past, my coach said to me, what would it take for you to pay 10K in cash in full? And I went, oh, I like that question. And I said to my husband, what would it take for me to pay 10K in cash to my coach? It feels really good. Problem, I don't really have 10K in the bank, do I? Okay. How can I create 10K? How can I take radical responsibility, not expect, when I manifest from my guides, the 10K, I'm like, no, when I manifest it from myself, what are the aligned actions I can take to create 10K? What beliefs do I have to have about not having it? Because do I have 10K? What else is possible? I found it. I can't remember exactly, but I found it within like 30 minutes. And I said to her, I found the 10K to pay you. What's your bank account details, right? Or send me through the PayPal link. I've had other clients when I've said, it's 10K for this program or whatnot. And they go, oh, I don't have that type of money. And I said, don't you? How can you create it? How could you pay me in full the $10,000? Right? So I went through the process with my coach, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, this is what I can do, so this is what I'm available for. And my client said, oh, can you just give me a couple of hours? I'll let you know by 3 o'clock today. I think I've got something in mind. She comes back to me at 3 o'clock on the dot and she says to me, I've got the money. I'll be putting the money through now. Because she chose. But if I hadn't asked her the question, what else is possible with creating this money now, then she would have never considered that she could create it. She could find it. It was actually already in her vortex. We get to do this with love and money and bodies. We get to manifest everything, and every time we have what we call shitty things happen to us, it is always a little indicator to say, hey, either go this way or I'm showing you something very, very significant which could change your life. Because when you tripped over and you took that moment to say, what is the gift of me tripping over? And then you remembered what Eckhart Tolle says in the Power of Now. Consciousness happens in stillness. I don't know. Something, you just remembered something. You go, I must be present. Today I must be present. Thank you for allowing me to be stopped. People do this all the time, by the way, when they break legs, when they get sick and they don't go to work, they manifest all of that so then they can have a break, right? So a tripping over is a small a small cute manifestation there. So you can go, oh my goodness, and then guess what happens? You go have a bath because you've decided to become more present today rather than hustling like a mofo to get sales, and then the new program drops in, or you are so present in the supermarket that you make your new best friend, or you connect with your children and you have a beautiful time laughing and just exploding with joy, or you connect with your husband because you decide, or your wife, because you decide that life's too short to be in this hustle bustle. So you talk, you have a coffee together, and you realize how much you missed each other because you've been hustling. So now you get to reconnect and come back onto your path. And this is what I wanted to share with you about manifestation, taking radical responsibility for your own growth and your own bank account and your own body. In my case, the body, right? Is the boldest thing you could ever do. And this is what I bring into all of my teachings on magnificent mediumship and my one-to-one spaces as well, is why are you choosing this? If having is the evidence of wanting, then what you have now is what you wanted, whether it's subconscious or whether it's conscious. The universe gives you exactly what you want because the universe is working for you. And instead of being embarrassed about the tantrum or the bad relationship or the bad choices, you get to sit in it and choose something differently. You don't just sit in guilt or shame. Guilt is simply there to stop you from redoing the same thing that created the pain. It's all experience, and it's a beautiful thing. Those 2 years that I wasn't with Luke, they were quite hard, but at the same time, they were so juicy and expansive, and I met people that shaped and changed my life forever. Some of them I'll never see again, but I will never ever forget them, because whether it was a frog I kissed or whether it was a beautiful best friend I worked with, they held me like I was, my friends held me like I was family, and I grew 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 up. I remembered who I was as a soul, and I remembered who I was without Luke. And then I was able to come together back to him and realize that's exactly what I desired to manifest for a strong, beautiful, independent, humble relationship. And now we get to create money and love and joy and expansion together every single day because of our experiences that we both chose. So next time you're manifesting, get yourself into a high vibe. And every time something seemingly shitty happens, give thanks and say, thank you. Please show me the purpose of this and show me how to get back in alignment. I'm going to go back to my to-do alignment list and see how balanced and aligned I really am. And, and this is why many of us have coaches like myself. I've invested over 6 figures in coaches, well over. I think it's like multiple 6 figures. And the reason why I've done this is because sometimes we have blind spots, and you've got to have someone that you can trust to say, what is my blind spot right now? Am I in a pattern? Because we do have patterns, and that's okay. And simply having a coach will help you accelerate the speed that you awaken to your consciousness and remember who you are, and also how fast you can manifest. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. I hope you got some good value from this. I would really appreciate it if you would share this podcast, if you would leave a review, or of course you can also reach out and tell me what your aha moments are from manifesting. Magnificent Mediumship is opening again on the 1st of July. It is early bird at the moment, and I haven't actually announced this yet, but I have got 3 spots available for Metamorphosis, one-to-one intimate spiritual coaching with me. Okay, so this is for high-level intimacy, where we have calls and activations and Voxer. We just be BFFs for a while so you can go through your metamorphosis and accelerate the pace of the conscious life that you are choosing. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon. listening to today's episode. I trust that you got those golden nuggets that you required to shift your consciousness, to expand your awareness, and to turn up your capacity. I invite you to share this podcast with anyone that you feel would benefit from it. And also share the golden nuggets that you have learned with your friends, family, and of course, clients. You can contact me if there's anything that you want to specifically share with me, or if there's anything you want me to specifically share on the podcast. You can check out the show notes and find me on my socials, and myself or my team will get back to you. My heart to yours. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.